Hello everybody and welcome to an incredibly windy day. I hope you can hear my voice. If during editing you can't, I'm gonna do a voiceover. I got a plan. Today we're taking a look through the garden to see what's going on, and today I want to start with the bunker garden because if you recall last week it didn't, oh now the sun comes out but it's still windy, nice. If you recall last week there was like nothing growing on in there, you gotta check this out. Here is that bunker garden where I'm doing my variation of the Three Sisters with four sisters, so I don't know, four brothers, but I think that's a copyright movie title. Along the back we can see there is plenty of corn popping up now, and you can truly get some idea of just how overplanted that is. And then the bean row is doing fantastic, but look at those peas, that is awesome. And Shock's found these for me today. We've got some squash popping up here. Let's see, that looks like squash, that looks like squash, that looks like squash. So if these other three squash locations would start sprouting, that would be absolutely fantastic. Particularly excited about the giant pumpkin. I'd love to carve one of those big suckers. But there we go. Look at that improvement in the bunker garden. Wind test.
Oh, it didn't open.
Wind test, take two. I swear it's windier than that. So along the back here in the original corn patch that is now so many things, I've actually got corn popping up in my 4 rows. So I'm really excited about that now that I can see the difference between the corn seedlings and the grass sprouts. I can do some weeding in here. That's going to be nice because it doesn't look too great right now. But this should be a nice proper corn patch. I'm really excited. I like corn on the cob. Barbecued corn on the cob, cream corn. I like corn, what can I say? Over here in the square foot garden area, you can see the peas are doing really well. These other peas not quite as well, but look how well those radishes are coming back. That is fantastic. And then moving to these squares here, I've got a lot more of the cylinder beets that are starting to pop up. So that's really exciting to me there. And I don't know how well they're gonna show up, but I've got a lot of little carrot starts that are starting to finally pop their heads up here, so that could be really good if they make it through. Over here we've got some Swiss chard finally popping up. This is the last of the packet that I bought like 4 or 5 years ago. And then up here we've got some watermelon radishes that my son chose. Wasn't able to grow those previously, but you know, they're growing now. Hopefully if he comes out to visit he'll get to have one of them. Waited long enough. You can see a couple of those kales that are still doing all right there. The rest of that row is unfortunately dead, but look at the bean row. Starting to get some good growth in there, and on the second row of beans here, I'm starting to get some popping up. So that is excellent. Excellent indeed. I like beans, I like peas. All of these wonderful things that you can grow, you know, and they're so much healthier when you grow them yourself versus buying them at the store. The tomato patch here, it's looking a little rough. I did plant some extra seeds in where some of the tomatoes have died, but I'm not seeing any sprouting there yet. And you know, tomatoes should get started beforehand anyway, so odds are pretty good that these are the tomatoes that I'll be harvesting from this year. Got this one lonely Brussels sprout here in the middle of the back patch, and then I need to do something with this space here. Not quite sure what I'm going to put in there just yet. In the pepper patch you can see the one eggplant that has survived. I've got a little bit of grass mulch going around it there. Was reading a few different things suggesting that's a really good way to go. There are a few of these peppers that look like they might make it, but they're not exactly growing at an overwhelming rate. I do have a few empty spots from peppers that haven't made it so far, so I'm going to fill those in with, again, you know, kind of whatever. I've got a lemon hot pepper kicking around in the house that will probably come out here, and otherwise I don't know what else is going to end up in the pepper patch. I do really like this idea of grass clipping mulching though. Let me know if you've tried this in the past and had positive or negative results. For the most part, it seems to be a positive thing according to the blogs I've checked into, so I'm hoping it's a good idea. What you got going on there, Shocks?
A wind tester.
Wind testing! You know, you're not supposed to fly kites by trees, right?
I'm not near power lines.
Okay. I love that kite. $10. What a funky kite. It's a neat kind of box kite, isn't it? It's a lot of fun to fly in the backfield, but now that they've planted it, we'll just have to fly it in our side yard.
It's about that windy.
Yeah, it's about that windy.
I'm not even running.
No, as you can see, she's really not. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There it is. Fly, little kite, be free! So starting along the side fence of fruit here, we've got, this is the plum tree. This is the tallest of the plum tree cuttings that was in the aquaponics. I've just shoved it into the soil, and you know me, say it with me, I'm hoping for the best. We'll see what comes of that though. And over here we have the cherry tree we were given. Seems to be doing all right, but looks like it could use a watering and maybe a trimming up so it settles in a little better. Carrying along, here we have our little red currant bush. It's another one of those $4 fruit bushes. You gotta love end of season clearance, right? $4. I'm gonna get way more than $4 worth of fruit out of that. Carrying on, we've got the Borealis Hascat berry. Still settling in very nicely, looking very good. Pretty pleased with that. And then along the end here, we have our Polar Jewel. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I can't wait till I can show you guys some of these fruit. Such a wonderful flavor to those. Over here we've got the Spruce Garden. Not a lot popping up yet, but you can probably see some of those sunflowers. Look at that. And along that row as well, lots more sunflowers popping up. None of the squash coming up in the middle yet. I do have quite a few of those peppers that still seem to be stubbornly hanging on to life. Again, not overwhelming growth on those peppers, but at least with these ones, as compared to the Windmill Garden that I'll show you in a minute, there are some secondary leaves starting on these ones. So there is still hope for these guys. There's another example of secondary leaves started. I believe these are the Peter's hot peppers, so we really don't know what they're going to be other than hot peppers. But it's exciting, you know, it's still the beginning of June. I've got another 3 or 4 days before winter kicks in here, so we'll see what happens. So over here at the Windmill Garden, the gojis are still in their buckets and looking fantastic. There's the black lace elderberry. I haven't trimmed it up yet. Gonna need an address from a certain interested party. My cabbage died. A lot of these Peter's peppers are showing absolutely no signs of growth at all. Same with the orange habaneros that I put in the back. I think they were just too small. However, upstairs I still have the Portuguese hot mix and the Mexican hot mix that Yori sent me. So I think those are ultimately going to end up planted out here at the Windmill Garden because I love my hot peppers. And I want to grow a nice crop. You know what I'm saying? I still don't know what this is. If anybody knows what that is, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just leaving it because it looks nice, like I've said. Here are those pop bottles that I started the orange habaneros in. I took 23 pepper seedlings out of there, and as you can see, I've still got quite a few. I'm just leaving them in there. I may transplant them somewhere else. I don't know. Virginia creep is going just nuts up this post, though. Or I guess tower would be a more appropriate description. Those poor Canadian flags got to come down. But that is just lovely. I can't wait till that changes color in the fall. That was such a beautiful red when we first moved here. Just this tower of life. I love it. Love it. Down at the bottom though, those loofahs, definitely dead. Over in this section here, we call this the Pier Garden because it kind of looks like this little bit of walkway of porch. Looks like they were thinking about the lake when they built this. So I think these are peonies, and then I don't know if these are tulips or what they are, but I'm hoping they have pretty flowers. There's another peony, I think. There's another peony there. We're going around to the front of the house. Up here you can see the pepper shrine where it got planted outside, and I can see that it desperately needs to be watered. Somebody has been derelict of his duties this morning. Can't imagine who that would be, Mr. Bear. But for the most part, these peppers look like they're doing really well. And hopefully will give me a really nice crop. I'm kind of worried about that cherry bomb pepper there. It's been the most wilty of all of the peppers since the transplant outside. And the sand dollar is looking a little wilty too. I think I'm going to take off some of those larger leaves and trust to the new growth in the, what do they call them? The crotches here, but basically where the branches are going to form. If I take these off, then maybe it can focus a little on life, you know? Got some onions going on back there, more onions going on there. Sadly and somewhat predictably, the 2 melons that I brought out from starts have died on me, but I did plant some more seeds in here. This is going to be early dews if they sprout in time. And this would be the Galea melon, basically one of the cantaloupe varieties. So a cantaloupe and a honeydew, hopefully taking over the archway. Like I say, if it grows, it should be beautiful, right? Here we have those berry bushes in the front corner of the lot that we still haven't quite identified, but definitely look like they're putting on some sort of fruit to me. So I don't think it'll be too much longer before I have some idea of what's growing on here. I'm really hoping they're edible because these are nice big bushes. And you know, I still want to make some mead, right? But there are a lot of berry starts on this for whatever kind of berry it's going to produce. We got some color forming in there. So yeah, still looking for information if anybody knows what kind of berry this is. There have been a few suggestions, but nobody's like positive yet. Here we go though. Nice look at the berries as they're forming, a nice look at the leaves. Appreciate the wind behaving for a moment. Let's take a look at the apple trees that are up here as well. There is the beautiful fairy garden apples. Since we don't know what kind of apples they are, that's what kind of apples they are. But let's see if I can find some of the starts. Here we go. We got these ones here already starting to take a little bit of color. That's awesome. Still don't know if I should be thinning out these little fruit clusters to try and get larger fruit, or if I should just let nature take its course. There's one last lonely apple blossom hanging there until the birds find it. Seems that birds around here seem to really like munching on apple blossoms. No signs of blossoms at all on this one particular apple tree. So I don't know what its future is going to be, but it sure looks like a healthy tree. I mean, there's lots of green. I'm not seeing any spots or blotches or anything on the leaves. So whatever kind of tree it is, it's healthy. I think maybe it just needs a better pruning sequence or something. Got a lot to learn about apple trees, Mr. Bear. But open to advice, you know. Throw it in the comments below if you've got any words of wisdom for me on apple trees. And let's check out that crab apple over here. As you can see, this is going to be loaded with fruit. And, oh, caterpillar. Whipping in the wind. Again, it looks like it's going to be a fairly healthy tree. I still got a lot more trimming I want to do on this. But, for the most part, pretty healthy. I'm looking forward to harvesting these, trying some homemade crabapple jellies and jams, because crab apples apparently have lots of pectin in them. So I should be able to preserve things with just what they've got. Exciting! Exciting! In the shopping bag here we've got those cuttings from the cherry bush. Look like they need to be watered as well. Not sure if they're going to make it. Then here we've got that much taller cherry bush cutting. Seems to be doing much better than its counterparts. So that's good. As long as I get one, I can keep them growing, right? Which brings us to the aquaponics. Now, those of you who saw yesterday's video won't be as surprised by the changes that you see here now. Let's see how these kale are doing. Looking pretty good. It's only day 2, but looking pretty good all the same. We've got, this is a Brussels sprout back here, not looking great. And this pea was already pretty trashed when I put it in here, so I won't be surprised if it dies, you know? Up in the cups here, I've got a couple more plum cuttings. Just sitting them in soil there. Hopefully they'll root. Again, like the cherry bushes, if I get so much as one of them, I'm a happy camper. And we'll close off with a look at the goldfish today. They're doing all right. Not too happy with me for the changes to their water quality that went with yesterday's adjusting of the aquaponics, but they'll get over it. And that is where I'm going to wrap up today's video. Hopefully you were able to hear the vast majority of this over the wind in the background. I did try and block my my camera with my body for it as much as I could, but I know this camera absolutely loves to pick up that super hyper annoying sound. So if it did, I'm sorry. Yeah, so I'm going to wrap it up here today and say, as always, I appreciate so much the time you guys spend with me here, checking out the gardens, giving me your advice, giving me your feedback, and I look forward to having a few different videos up over the course of the coming week. I've got a couple ideas, a couple things I'm working on, but I don't want to give any guarantees for sure because I don't know for sure. But yeah, until next time, take care of yourselves, everybody, and I will see you then. Bye.